Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. First, the headlines. His Highness Said Fahad bin Mahmoud Al Saeed praises Omani-Saudi strong relations and views with the chairman of the Saudi Shura Council developments in the region. Muscat is to receive the world's first solar impulse. The Sultanate is a premises for Gulf Quality Assurance Network, a matter discussed by a committee of Ministers of Higher Education and Scientific Research of Cooperation Council countries. And the main project committee of Ajal College for Sciences of Craft Industries and Traditional Professions view procedures of encouraging students to join various specializations of the college. Those are the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a cable of thanks from the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, in reply to His Majesty's cable of condolences on the death of the custodian of the two holy mosques, late King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. His Highness Said Fahad bin Mahmoud Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, today received His Excellency Sheikh Dr. Abdullah bin Mohammed bin Ibrahim Al Sheikh, Chairman of the Shura Council of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He conveyed greetings of the leadership of the Kingdom to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos and best wishes for His Majesty of continued success and to the Omani people further prosperity and growth. His Highness welcomed the guest and his delegation and praised strong brotherly relations between the two countries and increasing cooperation in numerous fields. His Highness viewed current situations in the region and cooperation among the Council countries, as well as progress of the Shura March in the Sultanate and in the countries of the Council, besides its role in supporting exerted efforts to serve societies, their development, and to achieve growth and prosperity for citizens. Talks also covered activation of all fields of existing cooperation between the two sides and discussed a number of developments in the region and the endeavors for security and stability to prevail in addition to matters of mutual concern. His Excellency the Chairman of the Saudi Shura Council expressed his pride and that of his delegation of the visit and praised Shura approach in the Sultanate. He emphasized his country's appreciation for the policy of the Sultanate and its role in strengthening joint cooperation. He also stressed the importance talks he held with officials in the Shura Council to reach to further cooperation between the two countries. The meeting was attended by His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal Al Mauli, Chairman of the Shura Council. The first solar-operated aircraft, Solar Impulse 2, will land today at Muscat International Airport. To mark the event, a special ceremony will be held under the auspices of His Highness Said Shihab bin Tariq Al Saeed. The Swiss-engineered airplane Solar Impulse 2 began its solar-powered flight around the world this morning from Abu Dhabi in UAE. The flight should take around 5 months to complete, and 21,748-mile journey has been divided into 12 manageable trips. The team behind the Solar Impulse 2, Bertrand Pigot and Andre Boschberg, will share piloting duties during the 500-hour flight. The single-cabin airplane has a 236-foot wingspan covered in 17,248 solar cells that power 4 electric motors. Because its wings cells store energy from the sun, the Solar Impulse 2 can fly at night as well as during the day. After taking off in Abu Dhabi, the Solar Impulse 2 will make stops in the Sultanate, India, Myanmar, China, the US and Southern Europe or North America before landing back in Abu Dhabi sometimes in July.
ترقبوا تغطية مباشرة لوصول أول طائرة تعمل بالطاقة الشمسية تجوب العالم في محطتها الأولى إلى مسقط الاثنين 9 مارس 2015 الساعة 5 مساء على قناة عمان مباشر.
Stay tuned for live coverage arrival of the first solar impulse on a tour around the world in its first stop in Muscat. Monday 9th of March 2015, time 5 p.m. on Oman Live Channel.
Muscat, the premises for the Gulf Cooperation Council network to ensure quality, was highlighted topic at the preparatory meeting for the 17th GCC Higher Education Ministers and Scientific Research Meeting. Three-day meeting discussed also equality of the GCC citizens in admission at the universities and governmental higher education institutes, in addition to regulations guiding for medicine and engineering specializations. The meeting reviewed a number of important issues that enhance and activate the joint efforts made to achieve shared objectives. The main committee of Al-Ajyal College for Sciences of Craft Industries and Traditional Professions held its first meeting today under the auspices of Her Excellency Sheikh Aisha bint Khalfan As-Siyabiyya, Chairperson of the Public Authority for Craft Industries, PASI. The main committee reviewed the latest developments with regard to the initial study on the college, the measures that will encourage students to join different specialities, the incentives provided to them, the college's logo and brochure, as well as core principles, values. During the meeting, the committee launched the experimental version of the college's website. The meeting touched on a number of issues related to the college's project, following up the committee's previous recommendations and decisions and reviewing the progress made in the project. Issues and matters of concern to Islamic societies and emphasis on the prevailing of spirit of tolerance and presenting the correct image of the tolerant Islamic faith were discussed by His Eminence Sheikh Ahmed bin Hamad Al-Khalili, Grand Mufti of the Sultanate, and His Excellency Sheikh Dr. Abdullah bin Muhammad bin Ibrahim Al-Sheikh, Chairman of the Shura Council of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Still to come in our news bulletin, the Treasures of Oman exhibition in the Governor of South Batna sheds light on Omani environment and significance of preserving the natural Omani treasures.
ترقبوا تغطية مباشرة لوصول أول طائرة تعمل بالطاقة الشمسية تجوب العالم في محطتها الأولى إلى مسقط الاثنين 9 مارس 2015 الساعة 5 مساء على قناة عمان مباشر.
Stay tuned for live coverage arrival of the first solar impulse on a tour around the world in its first stop in Muscat. Monday 9th of March 2015, time 5 p.m. on Oman Live Channel.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Iraqi government forces and Iran-backed militiamen were massing on the outskirts of Al-Jarma district in the western heartland of Anbar, some 40 kilometers west of the capital, Baghdad. Television footage showed Iraqi forces build up on the outskirts of the town, some 10 kilometers east of the Milton-held city of Fallujah, as part of the ongoing offensive to recapture the city of Tikrit, Salahuddin province, from Daesh militants. Tehran has said again that it is willing to give international nuclear inspectors access to a site where purported experimenting on high explosives may have taken place. The deputy head of Iran's Atomic Energy Agency made the offer as a team of the United Nations International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA) arrived in Tehran last night for talks amid the country's nuclear negotiations with world powers. The site in question is Marivan, some 480 kilometers west of Tehran, near Iran's border with Iraq. Iran has said since 2012 that IAEA experts are free to visit Marivan. The agency originally suspected Marivan could have hosted high explosive experiments that could be used to set off a nuclear charge. Iran has called the allegation baseless. Back here in the Sultanate, the fourth round of women's sports at the Gulf Cooperation Council countries commenced in Muscat under the auspices of Her Excellency Dr. Madiha bint Ahmed al-Shabaniya, Minister of Education. The opening ceremony started with the tunes of Oman Cordially and Peace Operata. Women teams on the level of the GCC countries were given the opportunity to compete on 10 individual and collective games, mainly athletics, volleyball, handball, basketball, bowling, tennis, taekwondo, equestrian athletics for the disabled, and shooting. This event is considered the most important in the process of women's sports movement in the region. Traffic Accident Seminar, which was open today at Sultan Qaboos University, discussed legal, spiritual and medical aspects of traffic accidents. Organizing of this seminar coincided with the Unified Traffic Week of the countries of the Gulf Cooperation Council to be within the context of official and popular concern to deal with traffic accidents phenomenon and existing and continuous attempts to limit them. Researchers from inside and outside the Sultanate are presenting 16 work papers on effects of traffic accidents taking part over 2 days. The second annual forum for companies operating in the electricity sector of contractors and suppliers, organized by Distribution Code Review Panel DCRP, started in Muscat under the theme Sustainability of Performance, Quality and Standards. The forum witnessed participation from chief executives of electricity distribution companies and a number of engineers and staff in the sector. The forum was considered important for the electricity sector companies to share experiences and views on very important matters relating to the areas of electric power, as well as to highlight the challenges that companies may face in implementing their projects. During the forum, DCRP briefed the contractors and suppliers working in the electricity sector on the latest developments of decisions and recommendations, namely to apply the rules related to safety, health and environment, in addition to train all employees and workers in operating and maintenance field. Sheikh Al-Fadil bin Mohammed Al-Harthi, Secretary General of the Council of Ministers, patronized the bestowal fruits ceremony organized today by Oman Development Bank (ODB) at Hormuz Grand Hotel and the accompanying exhibition that highlighted the project financed by the bank inside the Sultanate. During the ceremony, Sheikh Al-Harthi launched the Success Stories book, which recounts the success stories of 36 projects financed by ODB and made a great success in their fields. A presentation was displayed about all the projects financed by ODB during the last years, as well as achievements of these projects and their distribution on the Omani governorates. The agricultural, livestock and fisheries acquired 78% from the numbers of loans, with a total value reaching 128 million Omani Rials. Governorates of Muscat and North Al-Batna topped the list of most receipts of loans in terms of the value. His Excellency Sayyid Mohammed bin Sultan Al Busaidi, Minister of State and Governor of Dhofar, met today with members of the Municipal Council in the Governorate of Dhofar. This came during the third meeting in 2015, which was held under the chairman of His Excellency Sheikh Salim bin Afet Al-Shamfari, head of Dhofar Municipality and chairman of the Municipal Council in the Governorate of Dhofar. During the meeting, His Excellency Sayyid Mohammed Al Busaidi urged them to exert more efforts to serve this dear homeland. The meeting discussed a number of topics listed on the agenda, as the council took the appropriate decisions on the regard to serve the municipal work in the governorate. The second Scouts Forum for the Disabled was held in Umar bin Khattab Institute for the Blind in Muscat. It came to highlight a number of students' talents and capabilities. The two-day forum included a number of workshops on crafts, first aid training, and an awareness program on consumer protection and civil defense. The participants expressed that the event helped them to learn some skills that would be beneficial during camps. On the occasion of Civil Defense and Ambulance World Day, the Directorate of Civil Defense and Ambulance in the Governorate of North Asharqiya celebrated this day, which themed Civil Defense and Limit Disasters and Dangers within Sustainable Developments. The celebration comes to honor civil defense personnel for their efforts in reserving the gains of the homeland and protect the integrity of public and private property. Concerning with the increase of traffic awareness and in celebration of the Unified Gulf Week of Traffic Safety, your decisions determines your fate. Police Command of the Governorate of Worcester organized a number of activities on traffic safety and security. It included an exhibition of first aid materials and systems accompanied by detailed briefing by specialists, during which they spoke about vehicle drivers' knowledge to minimize traffic accidents, effects on families and societies. A visual show on traffic accident statistics and their gradual decrease during the past 2 years, in addition to cultural competitions among school students of the governorates who also participated with guidance traffic sign boards. The Treasures of Oman exhibition was opened in the Governorate of South Batna under the auspices of His Excellency Sheikh Hilal bin Saeed Al Hajri, Governor of South Batna. It came to shed light on Oman environment with the aim to spread awareness on the significance of preserving the natural Omani treasures. The exhibition included sections on animals, plants and marine life. It targeted school students so as to acquaint them on the importance of preserving the environment. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Highness Said Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed praises Omani-Saudi strong relations and views with the chairman of the Saudi Shura Council developments in the region. Muscat receives the world's first solar impulse. The Sultanate is a premises for Gulf Quality Assurance Network, a matter discussed by a committee of Ministers of Higher Education and Scientific Research of Cooperation Council countries. And the main project committee of Ajyal College for Handicrafts and Traditional Professional Scientific Industries views procedures of encouraging students to join various specializations of the college. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom and the studios, thanks for your company. Good night.